Friday. So long. The last thing I could remember was Ikora screaming for me to run. She was fighting with Twilight, and I was trying to break them up. The smoke was sickly sweet in the air, and the stench of burning apples was suffocating. I grabbed Zecora and tried to lead her towards safety. It was impossible to see with all the smoke and fire raging around us. I got all turned around. It all looked the same. And it was so loud, and I felt so sick, and... well, I got lost. I know. I've been to Sweet Apple Acres hundreds of times before, and could always find my way around, but this was like a completely different farm. And that's when I woke up here. I'm somewhere in the Everfree Forest, and I can still smell the smoke from the fire. I can still see Twilight. I guess that's it then. Twilight's gone. Applejack was lost to the fire. Zecora was lost to the infected. Canterlot is gone. Ponyville is overrun. Every pony's either sick or dead. What else is left? Where do I go? Am I lucky? I feel better. I got the Rasp. I survived it. And for what? There's no one left. I made it through. I won. Yay for me. We didn't take back the city. There was no plucky band of survivors who managed to find a cure. This wasn't like my comic books. I thought if you survived something like this, you were supposed to have a happy ending. So why does this feel so much like Tartarus? I guess I'll start walking. Got nowhere else to be. Maybe I'll find someone who isn't infected. It'd be nice to have a friend. Goodbye. P.S. I'm not sure when I'll write in this again, if at all. What's the point? If somebody finds this and reads it, I'm sorry if this wasn't the end of the journal you were expecting. I didn't see it coming either. I've been walking for the last few hours. Don't know where I'm going. Don't care. Doesn't matter. Home. I went to the place where everything used to make sense. I guess. I walked until I realized I was in Canterlot. The place is deserted. Occasionally, I find a pony or so standing in the streets, mouth open, eyes rolled back, and making that horrible rasping sound. I don't know what I was hoping for. I thought Mom and Dad would be okay. I guess I was being naive. I don't know what I was expecting. What I wanted was Mom to wrap her arms around me and tell me she knew what to do, and everything would be okay, and we'd help Twilight and I don't have anywhere else to go. The house seems like the most intelligent response, right? So I went home. I went home and found Mom and Dad. She was in the kitchen, sitting on her haunches, ears folded back, mouth open, eyes rolled back, hissing. I knew better than to ask her if she was all right. She was acting like Twilight had. Only she wasn't restrained. I love you. I love you so much, Mom. I love you so much. I snuck up on her. I grabbed the closest thing I could, one of the dinner stools. I hefted it in my claws. I love you, Mom. I won't let you suffer. I won't. I won't. I love you. And I won't let you suffer. I love you. 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 I broke the chair over the back of her neck. She went down. Then, I hit her again. And again. Twilight Velvet stopped moving. She stopped hissing, stopped twitching. She just lay silent, in a growing pool of her own blood. Next was Dad. He was in the study. He was sitting with his back turned towards me, staring at his huge bookshelf. I rescued him too. I'm a hero, right? I saved my parents from a horrible fate. I'm a hero, right? I rescued them both. So why can't I stop crying? After rescuing my parents, I wound up in Twilight's room. It was the only place that felt safe. I locked the door and dug up some of her old stuffed animals out of the closet and surrounded myself with them. They smell like Twilight. I fell asleep. I just woke up and looked out the window. There's a light on in the castle. I can see it. I can see it. There's some pony still alive in there. There's a light. It's a candlelight, but it wasn't there when I went to sleep. Someone is there. Someone's alive inside. I'll be back. I know better than to run up the road the way I did. I guess I was delirious with hope or something. I was waving my arms and shouting as I made my way towards the castle, all smiles and excited. I really wanted to see familiar faces. That's all I cared about. I knew some of the guards of the castle, and I wanted desperately to talk to someone familiar. I should have known they'd be on high alert. I don't blame them for the rock that shot by my head, or the second rock that hit me dead in the center of the temple. A perfect shot left me dazed with bells loudly ringing in my ears. I could see stars, bright yellow ones that danced in front of me. They were firing from the castle's parapets as I ran towards them. Expertly crafted arrows and spears were hurtling at me, while rocks pitched past with horrifying accuracy. I stopped in my tracks, waving my arms desperately. "Stop! It's me, Spike! I'm not infected!" I hollered, my skull tingling from where the rock had struck, and words felt funny in my mouth. I stumbled forwards a few steps and landed on my knees, gazing up at the castle. Didn't they recognize me? Perhaps they did. Maybe they couldn't risk an infected dragon in the castle. The drawbridge was up, and the moat barred my entrance. They weren't taking any chances with the Rasp. "Please, I'm not sick." Another rock. It must have caught me in the skull because I don't remember lying down. I do remember waking up, though. I was on the dirt road towards the castle. Guards surrounded me, and one of them holding me down, by my neck. I'd never studied guard protocol before, but I could tell the difference between a normal hold and one that meant to serve a purpose. This was a very specific purpose. I didn't move. I didn't think I could if I wanted to. The first guard was saying something about a test, and the second guard nodded his head. Two of them held me down, while a third... He cut himself, just like Sakura did. He cut himself and let the blood splatter all over me. Ah, Celestia. I screamed for him to get off of me, kicked and struggled. I was horrified. I had no idea where that guard had been, or if he was sick, or what was going on. Turns out I didn't need to worry about it. They knocked me out with a third rock. I've just woken up in one of the cells in the dungeon. My head feels like it's splitting open, and I can taste blood in my mouth. I'm getting tired of being knocked unconscious. I've been waiting down here for an hour or so now. Every now and then I can hear the guards walking outside, talking. About me, about the dragon they captured in the town, what they should do with it, how they should deal with it. The same way we deal with the other infected. We take no chances. I don't care if it's Spike or the King of Griffinstone himself. So that's it then. Now I'm just waiting. I figure they've taken over the castle. One of them was talking about martial law. Celestia must be gone if that's the case. I can hear some pony coming. I want ponies to know what happened here. I'm wrapping up this journal. I put one of Twilight's copy charms on it, so you'll get every entry I made. Use this as a warning. Don't come to Canterlot. There's no help. At least you'll know what happened to your family. I'm sorry I couldn't save Twilight, or our friends, or even myself. I'm sorry I won't get to see you again, or know what your foals will look like. I'm sorry I let you down, big brother. I'm sorry for everything. Don't come to Canterlot. I hope you get this shining. I'm sending this as soon as I finish this. Saturday. Cure. Her once beautiful indigo curls splashed along the floor in a messy, tangled heap. Her pretty white coat was stained with blood and dirt and various other grime, so much that it no longer even resembled white, and instead was a dark, murky brown. Her eyes were rolled back in her head, and her horn had been removed, sawn off to a bloody nub that oozed a greenish pus down her forehead. Her body had been mutilated. Had they been experimenting on her? Trying to cure her? She was dead. I stared at her, teary-eyed and disbelieving. This was a nightmare. This was an utter, horrible nightmare. The guard who dragged her in didn't bat an eyelash. He was wearing a tarnished set of armor and walked with a slight limp. He simply dragged her by the leg towards the end of the dungeon, where he opened a cell and threw the mangled body inside. As he did so, her neck snapped. The head bobbed limply towards me. I could deny it all I wanted, but that pony, that was Rarity. He turned towards me as I started to throw up, and gave a snort. We ran out of places for graves. Get over it, he said callously. I could feel a swell of anger starting to burn inside me. But before I got the chance to lash out at this monster pretending to be a pony, the door to the dungeon opened yet again. The guards didn't waste time with small talk. They were in full battle dress. I didn't ask what they wanted. They held me at spear point and forced me to look at the wall. Then we heard a familiar voice. Dr. Stable. Twilight's doctor before he moved to Ponyville. I could hear him standing outside of my cell. He didn't waste any time, like usual, getting right to the point. We think it originated with the meteor shower. We think it was some sort of radiation coming from the meteor that touched down. Something that seeped into the atmosphere and poisoned the laminate mana in the air. It transmitted through the magic. I've never seen anything like this, but this is, for all intents and purposes, a magical sickness. Unicorns are most susceptible, of course. This is followed by Pegasi, who harness magic through cloud walking or weather work. Earth ponies only succumb to it after direct infection. Bites do that pretty well, but even then it's only a 50-50 chance. I've never expected a dragon to contact the illness. The guards say you took a blood test. That means you were exposed to blood and you didn't attack us. It's how we know who's infected. They threw you down here for me to look at you after I finished with the princess. Princess Luna says Celestia sent you a message before the situation took its turn for the worst with her. You were infected by a pony who has all three pony species rolled into one. We took a sample of your blood while you were out. You were infected, but the illness seems to be receding. I think it's because of your draconic heritage. I think I can isolate the pathogen, and then, with any luck, devise a cure. You, however, stay here. There's a good hooful of us left alive in the castle, and we can't let you infect us. Even if you are cured, you could still be a carrier. We can't take any risks. If you leave this cell, we'll have to execute you, he said grimly. The guard from before, the one in the tarnished armor, nodded his head at me and leaned against the wall. With that, he went back upstairs. I didn't know the guard glaring at me, but I didn't care. All I could think of was the letter that I sent you. The last letter I sent to you an hour ago. I infected you. I infected the entire Crystal Empire. If that's the case, I killed you. I've killed you, and I've killed Twilight, and I've killed Mom, and I killed Dad, and Scootaloo, and Applejack, and Zecora. I killed every pony. If Dr. Stable can create a cure, then maybe the world will have a chance. I hope. I hope he can find a cure. I hope he can save everyone else. I hope that my blood will make a difference. I hope. I hope. I hope. And I hope that you can forgive me After I send this to you, I'm going to melt the lock on my cell and step outside and try to get to Rarity. I want to tell her one last time. I think I can make it before the guard catches me. Then maybe I can see you in Twilight, and Mom, and Dad. Maybe. I hope. I love you, big brother. I'm sorry for everything. I really am. Spike.